Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to be talking about something that's happened fairly recently, about the rise of small planes flying transatlantic. Now 10 years ago this would have been pretty much completely unheard of. People would have never have guessed of single aisle planes flying transatlantic or long distances of flights well over 7 hours. But in the last 10 years that's pretty much changed. We have the A321XLR and the 737 MAX. And really the only other aircraft really that could do this would be the Boeing 757. However, many airlines have taken this to their advantage with airlines like Aer Lingus, Play Airlines and SAS. And of course also JetBlue. And JetBlue is one of the prime examples of them using the A321XLR to their advantage, as they actually did not fly at all transatlantically until they got their Airbus A321s, with launching service to London and Paris. And yet again, Aer Lingus is once again another example of them using their A321NEO to their advantage. Let's say with their Washington route, which now flies I think daily on their A321s, this used to be 3 times weekly on their Airbus A330. However, now that's completely changed, and sometimes it's a double daily service on their Airbus A321neo, and this just shows to show what the A321neo can do to some of airlines' fleets around the world. And now moving on to the Boeing 737 MAX, and airlines such as Air Canada and WestJet are two again prime examples showing that the MAX is again an airplane that could be going far in the future for them, as WestJet has launched St John's to Gatwick and have also launched Toronto to Dublin and Edinburgh, and have yet to launch Halifax to Edinburgh as well, coming this month or whenever you're watching this. However, this just goes to show that airlines can use single aisle planes to serve smaller cities like St John's and Halifax to bigger cities like London, as Air Canada also does a Boeing 737 MAX 8 service from Halifax to London Heathrow. And now moving on. So bringing this forward, once the A321XLR was announced back in 2019, airlines were this is going to be the future of commercial aviation, like short haul planes are the way to go. I'm not entirely sure this is what was going to happen, because some routes are still going to be too far for like a single aisle airplane, but transatlantic routes will definitely, most maybe in the next 10, 15, maybe in the next 20 years, maybe majority of the transatlantic routes may be short haul, but I'm not saying that 20 years from now that every route transatlantic to kind of the west of like the United States and down to like Canada will be fully single aisle. I think New York and Boston will probably still have some wide bodies on it because they're quite high demand routes. But airlines like United and Delta will, and maybe American, these might be their future transatlantic aircraft to replace 757. Probably certainly United and Delta are wanting that, but these United and Delta will not be retiring their 757s for at least another 5, maybe even 10 years, depending on the age of some of them. But American's a lot more, not really, because they have not returned to any of their destinations they flew to with the 757, because they retired them back in the pandemic, and they've just not kind of been brought back into the fleet. However, or not been like they've not brought back the routes that they like wanted to bring, because they've just not got enough aircraft. So maybe American may be looking for the A321 when they get their XLR. They got an order for 50. They may very well bring back some of those routes, like the one to Edinburgh, maybe Manchester, Glasgow. To the places in the like UK and Ireland and all that where they were probably like they could do that with the XLR. United and Delta, on the other hand, are definitely putting forward probably the A321 as their future. Certainly United is. They're turning away from Boeing, as I've said in my news videos, and we've heard countless people say that United is probably looking at Airbus for their future transatlantic narrow body flights, and then Delta's kind of in between. So and then, of course, an American's just full going for the whole thing of just, they kind of want Boeing. So, and I think European airlines are also looking and saying that definitely narrow bodies are definitely the way to go, because they could serve smaller airports, as Aer Lingus has done, purchase of White Locks and quite a number of other destinations, just purely with the narrow body planes, and they can do that with just the narrow body planes. So the A321 is probably the game changer, and the XLR will also certainly be probably one of the biggest game changers in, I wouldn't say maybe in commercial aviation. So we'll have to wait and see where the A321 takes, or when it takes to the skies, where it will take aviation. Like, we know that a lot of American airlines, pretty much every single American airline has, or like American United, have bought the A321. Like, they want that plane. Qantas has got it, and a bunch of other airlines have also ordered the type. But going back onto that going back onto Aer Lingus, I think Aer Lingus and JetBlue are two of the airlines that have really used the A321 to their advantage. That's an aircraft they have used to their advantage. It's an aircraft that they've said this is the aircraft for them, maybe, to some extent, and then they're just using that aircraft for all their transatlantic flights that do not meet a lot of demand. Well, certainly Aer Lingus does that, and then JetBlue's using upon that to serve other kind of other, like, JetBlue's trying to become like, they're like the 5th airline or whatever to serve London. So it's like they are definitely using the A321 to really expand their operations, and Aer Lingus is doing that as well with services to smaller airports like White Locks as well. So they're doing that as well to expand their route network. Now, I would know what you would like to think, if you would rather be on a wide body or a narrow body to take you to your destination. But I think it's safe to say that wide bodies will certainly not vanish from the skies anytime soon. They'll be going for the next, maybe, I'd say 30 years max, and then maybe we'll still see wide bodies definitely flying for years to come in our skies. Just because there's some routes like New York and Boston that just meet that certain demand to where they need wide body aircraft to fly those routes. So, as I said, I would like you to know what your opinions are, so do let them know down in the comments. But that will be the end of this video. So I want to thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!